This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. Presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hey guys, she's Claire.
and he's Enzo.
And this is Too Long for a Voice Note. Hey guys, welcome.
Hello.
Hey again. I say hey like 3 times already.
Hey. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Yes,
welcome
back. This is another week with us. Thank you for coming back from every single week to listen to our chit chats and all I have to say.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for everybody that's liking, subscribing, and joining La Familia.
If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button and
Please.
come join the family so you won't miss an episode. And we upload weekly, so you can join us every single week.
Yes. So how are you? How's been your week, Claire?
It's been fine, actually.
Fine. It's like high pitch boys.
It's been fine.
It's been
busy
okay. Busy
always.
week.
But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anything interesting happened.
Are you feeling the summer coming finally to
really
the UK?
am.
Like a bit of warmness, a bit of sun.
A bit of
it's
heat.
happening.
I mean, about time. Really.
It's about time, literally, guys.
Are you a bit happier now? It's sunnier?
I'm feeling way better overall because I see the sun and it's like sun, please. You know, it does make the change. So
Of course.
and we're talking about the weather. Is that
Yeah, of course we are at the beginning of the
like
episode again.
tell me like the episode is filmed in London without telling me that it's filmed in London. It's literally like that. So yeah, it's been an okay week, like busy, but it's cool because everything's reactivating, so we're back to regular real life.
More kind of normality kind of thing.
So it's nice. So yeah, let's see what are we gonna discuss this week, guys.
Who's going first?
Yeah, I think it's this time. It's my turn.
Yeah.
So are you ready, guys, for Enzo's secret topic of the week? So Claire, I have a question for you.
Oh gosh, okay.
Do you watch porn?
Oh my god.
Tell me the truth. Tell me.
You tricked me! I didn't know you were going to bring up this topic. We've been talking about doing this topic for ages.
So, I was scrolling on Instagram as I do every single day non-stop. And, you know, like I really love the ID magazine. I think I'm stealing from them a lot of content all the time. All the time, like, my topic is from ID magazine. But yeah,
I need
it's
to follow
from
them
ID
on
magazine.
Instagram, actually, because I used to read their website more.
Yeah.
But I
like
need to
back in the
follow
day
them.
vibes.
Yeah.
No, they're really good on Instagram and they really like makes you want to like read the magazine as well because they have really like also it's very well presented.
Yeah,
Anyway, they were talking about porn and there was the discussion around how if there's a way to watch porn in an ethical way.
Okay.
But before, you know, like something...
I just want to say, I hope to God none of my parents are watching this episode. Please, parents, if you're watching this, I beg you to click off.
Click off or
Please.
just forward to the next topic because
Please.
high level uncomfortable.
At least your mum doesn't speak English. You're so lucky.
It's true.
Please.
So yeah.
Okay.
So I wonder, do you watch porn overall?
No, actually, I don't, and I'm being genuinely honest. I would say,
Yeah.
I don't watch porn. I will occasionally. There's an adult filmmaker I've told you about her called Erika Lust. I'm going
told me
to
about
leave
her,
her
yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
below. I'll occasionally watch her films. Sometimes, you know, you have to pay for it as well. Like it's not free. You know, like
Content,
Pornhub,
Pornhub, or
that.
like
It's not like that.
videos or anything.
You have to pay for it. She's super feminist. Like she treats her workers really well. Sorry, not even workers. That's kind of the wrong phrase. She treats her artists really well.
Artists, yeah.
And she's a lot about like female pleasure and all of that kind of stuff.
It's a different take on traditional porn.
Occasionally, but I mean, we'll get into it as to why if you want to go that way.
Yeah.
But I don't always
it's a bit
love
going that way.
it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
her stuff. But no, I haven't watched. I can't remember the last time I watched porn. Actually.
I find it interesting because I think normally men are the ones who watch more porn
Do you
because
watch
it's like
porn?
I do, but not that much. I've never been such a fan of porn.
I can
Especially,
imagine.
like I find like a long porn movie is the most boring thing ever. I don't like, you know, like 20 minutes watching a porn. I can't. I don't have that time in my life. You
But
know?
the acting is so cringe as
And
well.
also,
isn't
I
it?
understand it's part of the aesthetic of it, but at least let's say the traditional aesthetic of being a bit cringy and a bit like a random fantasy. I never been a fan of it. If I'm watching something, I prefer something like short, which is cool. Like if you go to Twitter, this is like a tip. There's a lot of accounts that they have just short like porn videos.
Really?
Twitter is full of them.
The more you know.
The more you know. I've never been like a huge fan of porn. It's like I can spend like maybe week, 2 weeks without watching anything.
Yeah.
It has to be in a certain mood kind of thing. But I find interesting, like, how I think the last few years, the conversation is really out about how to make porn a bit better for everybody, for the artists, for the people who are watching to feel represented. Because as you know, like, there's a lot of, like, it's a shit show behind the porn industry. There's a lot of, like, which is where this ID post Navigate talks about like how there's literally no regulation behind this. Like, there's nothing like clear. There's a lot of like child abuse. There's a lot of like like women being exploited. And there's a lot of like basically there are people that are being forced to do porn and film them and then take profit out of them. So it's basically it's basically rape in many ways, and you don't know it. So that's part of like a big issue. So
does it say how they get involved with it? Is it kind of like a similar thing to kind of like sex work? Did it go into that, like they kind of get like trapped into that kind of thing?
Basically it's a lot of like a sex work vibes as well. There's a lot of people that are being like just forced, and they're being like filmed without their consent, and always goes to women being oppressed kind of thing. I'm sure it happens also like with men and like gay porn as well. But funny enough, I think like it's very obvious why this will happen more with women. Because like I guess if it's porn between two men, this is still like, you know what I mean,
an element of kind of consent, or an element of kind of equality.
I feel like it's like that. It's not like all the porn is like that, but
because I was gonna say some gay porn is really problematic, right?
It can be very problematic, but I feel they're playing the part most of the times. I haven't heard a lot of like cases of like gay porn being like, oh, this guy's being forced to do it,
Okay.
The concept can be problematic, and they have a lot of like cliches and a lot of like ideas that are really wrong from the community as well. The same as a straight porn, of like, of course, this is a difficult topic because it's a fantasy, so maybe for you, what's something it's kind of wrong, for you it's a fantasy. So it's like, where's the line there? But anyway, what I found really interesting about this topic is like they talk about how to make like porn ethically, right? And they talk about like how like there's so many issues with Pornhub and all of that, and how supporting like independent actors and creators is actually a way to help them. The good thing about OnlyFans is they really changed the game for porn, because this is like people that are posting this content there, creating content, and you pay for it. So like, and it's interesting because most of the content on OnlyFans, it's gay content, by the way.
Okay.
But I think one of the most successful persons from OnlyFans is a woman that she decided to create her own like feminist, sexual, very empowered content, and she's one of the ones who have got more money out of the platform.
That's cool.
Which is very interesting because it's not normal in porn.
Yeah. Totally.
So
yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting topic. I think like there's one thing that I will definitely admit that I will sometimes, I think it's problematic in myself, but I also think about the way that we're like socialized and all of this kind of stuff. For example, I don't know, I've only watched porn on Erika Lust, the filmmaker, and she uses people that have like very normal bodies.
Okay. It's not like this.
They're not like the typical,
of a perfect,
because that's another issue that you often have with mainstream porn, right? Like they have surgeries and have like vagina surgery or like breast implants, and
like,
nothing really wrong with that. But if
like a non-real representation all the time of what
exactly
we are,
or like they're always completely waxed or something like that, and it's like a very unrealistic kind of beauty standard kind of thing. And often, again, it is often women that are going to be doing those things. But I did find it strange. I hate myself for saying that, but I found it strange seeing normal bodies. And I found it less... I mean, in my case, like, for example, a lot of the male actors that she uses have, like, they're very, very tattooed, like, fully. And that's just not my thing. Like, that's just not my type.
That makes sense, because it's something that you like or you don't like.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, this is so weird. And I think that's just a complete kind of... like it's just a complete mirror of what we're so used to, because I was so like, and it's not like I sort of would like date guys who have got like perfect like Adonis kind of like bodies.
It's not even like
at all.
Like in real life, it's not even.
And I haven't had any surgery or anything like that. But to watch
it's what you're expecting to. But that's the problem with these things. The same with what we always talk about, like magazine covers or like music videos or pop artists or whoever. Like we have these ideas of something so unrealistic, something like it's not real at all. So when you're watching a porn, you expect people to look, to act, and to be in some certain way, which is really damaging because, you know, like then maybe if in some cases, some people may think that that's how sex should look like. And, you know, so that's also like a problem there.
Well, I think also like they say that most sort of young boys and girls get their first experience of sex or first impression of sex via porn.
Of course. And that's
obviously. So that's so bad because often in like, if you want to just say like heterosexual porn, like I'm sure we all know in that kind of way, it's often like the woman being like really dominated or like really fucked or something like that.
Not being appreciated or like respected.
And
do you feel like if you, because you know there's a chance that you can pay for it and you can get like some porn that you because with the internet now you can just like, as they say, there's ways to consume porn ethically. So you can research the company who's producing the porn. You can research the director. You can research and follow the actor. So you can create like a connection with them and be like, I want to watch their porn. So if you, for example, if you find like an actor that you really like and you're like, oh, I really like this guy. Like, why not? I will see him like having sex. Will you pay like a subscription to have like porn from this person after like
having like a bond with them?
Like a bond, which is at the end of the day is how social media works nowadays. It's everything. True. It's even people that are listening to a podcast now is because most of them probably they have like a bond with us in some way. So that translates to everything that is digital. Would you pay for it? Like, because, you know, it's a subscription. So it could be like, if it's OnlyFans, it's going to be like, I think, minimum £10 and some other that are like £15, £20. So it's something that you need to pay monthly. Yeah,
I guess, as I said, like, I don't really watch porn that much because I just don't really feel like I need it. Like, I can have a fantasy
without watching
my head. Porn. You know, I don't, you know, but if I felt like I didn't have enough inspiration or something like that, I will turn to porn. And I will definitely consider paying for it if there was a specific artist.
Do you think porn... Do you think men consumes more porn because it's a social thing, or because like actually men, we have a different way to get into sexuality or like fantasies or like, you know what I mean? I know this is probably like a very psychology question, but do you feel like maybe potentially you watch less porn than me because socially and like culturally, you know, like women always like, porn is so disgusting that I'm blocking that. Yeah. And for men, I'm always going to be in a position of power probably watching it. You know what I mean?
I think probably I can't speak for all women, but I would say that I know like a lot of my girlfriends watch porn. So I know that a lot of my girlfriends who are super feminist will watch like regular porn. So I don't think that it's women finding it kind of disgusting or anything like that.
It's not about that. Okay.
But I think that I just don't watch it that much just because I don't like really need it. But I think it's probably a mix of things. I think maybe, I don't know if this is true, but I wonder if like, you know, when I'm having a fantasy, it's about someone I will have a connection with. It's that kind of thing. Or I'll be honest, it'll be about Michele. Or something like
you
that.
Will pay for that probably.
Yes, I will pay for that.
But because you have a connection with him in the sense of like you like him previously.
Yeah.
It's not like a random man hot that you found on the internet that you're going to watch it.
That wouldn't really work for me.
That's the thing.
This is the thing. And I think it would work for you maybe.
Maybe. And that's the difference between men and women and porn as well.
Not to say that like
not everyone, but...
Not to say that it would not like arouse me at all, but I think it's just not my go-to, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
You know?
I get it. I think it makes sense.
If you're watching porn, do you need to find both guys attractive?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So it's not just the like act of it that's like turning
No,
kind of thing.
I'm very picky with porn, if I have to say. Like,
I can imagine. Like the aesthetic is horrible, I won't do.
Literally, there's so many horrible film. I think I get very like into it if it's filmed in a certain way or it looks in a certain way. You know, it's like a whole thing. So for me, like if it's a random video, probably I wouldn't even like it because it looks a bit ugly. Yeah. So if I want to spend my time of it, it has to be like, not because it has to be perfect per se, but it has to have. It's not like I have like a list of requirements.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Completely.
But I need to like at least feel like I kind of feel like it needs to be well done. If you're listening to this and you may want to you want to say something.
I feel like we should have had this conversation in private. This is like me being so British. I'm literally like...
I put you on the stop, like, what? We're talking about porn and wonky.
Like,
and
what?
all that.
Sorry, did someone call me?
Oh, I can film the podcast today.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, if you're watching and listening to this and you really maybe want to explore a bit of porn in a different way, or you feel like the porn you see around is not something that it really represents you, or really like you feel connected, there's many resources out there. Most of them are paid, and that's the thing. When it's free, it's more difficult, so you can get a lot of things, and a lot of people may be exploited, or it's difficult. But if you're willing to pay, there's things there, a lot of alternatives. We can leave some on the description below. So Claire, you have us every single week. This is your chance to shine. You have 60 seconds to shine and tell me anything, everything, whatever about porn, about something, whatever you think. So go for it. You have 60 seconds, and the 60 seconds start right now. Well,
I think I would say to kind of end this topic, just like everything in life, like food or clothes, whatever, like porn is just another thing that you're consuming. So just be aware of what you're consuming. And I think, you have to bear in mind, like, if you're not paying for something, then somebody's probably suffering. Like, if you're paying for cheap clothes, somebody's probably suffering. If you're getting free porn, really somebody's suffering. So I think, if you want to consume porn and that's your thing, like, absolutely fine, completely go for it. But maybe just have like a little think about like where that's coming from, what position they're in, what
quality over quantity as well, maybe,
etc. And like there'll be a place for you to kind of explore your fantasy in a fine way, but where people aren't being exploited, because there's always somebody who has the same kind of fantasy as you, so that will be my main kind of takeaway from that. But you do you. And I think it's great that there's so many websites kind of like
boom, it's over, but you can keep talking,
existing for this kind of thing. And like Enzo said, we're going to link them below. I'll definitely check them out.
I think you really explain what I was trying to say in a very smart and wise way. De nada. This is the smart person from the podcast. You can tell. So interesting topic. I think we should go back to this topic in the future, because there's so many different like sides of this. And
please do leave us a comment and let us know what you think about porn. Do you watch porn? Where do you get your porn from? What do you think of it? I think we would love to hear.
Don't share with us your favorite porn, so maybe do. Careful with YouTube. I think if you put watch this, it's gonna be a bit problematic. But
check it out. But very interesting topic, love. I'm glad that we spoke about this.
Yes,
made me think a bit as well.
You're like, let me talk about this camera. Thank you, Bert. So now it's time of what?
It's time for Claire's secret topic of the week. Okay, so this is kind of a not intense or heavy topic, but I'm aware that this might cause offence to some people, and I think I wanted to say at the top that this is my own personal views on this topic, and I'm more than aware that people will not agree with me. But I just feel like it's important for people who have different views to be able to express themselves.
So basically, if you don't agree with my topic, just fuck you. I'm joking.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
But just at the top, I just want to say this isn't really aimed at anybody or anything like that. I just feel that I want to talk about this with Enzo, because we've never really spoken about this properly. And hear you guys' opinion on it too. So I would like to talk about marriage. And in more detail, why I have an issue with marriage. So
that's a good topic.
Thank you, love. So as a bit of background, I have never wanted to be married, ever. From the youngest age, I was always like, I'm never going to get married.
You're a rebel.
Literally, and yes, my parents were divorced when I was a baby. Of course, that might influence my decision, but I would argue that all of your decisions to be whatever in relationship you want to be is probably influenced by your childhood in some way. So I never wanted to get married. I've only ever been in long-term relationships. This is something that I want to get into in a bit, but I just have no desire to ever be married.
I don't know if you will get into this later, but it's the thing that you don't want to is like the ceremony part, the legal part, the let's get married, let's take a picture together, faking happiness. I mean, faking happiness, that's so mean. Or like being really happy. And that's mean, no. People, when they get married, some of them, they're really, really, really happy. I'm just being like funny. But what's the part of it that you dislike? Or it's not as superficial as that?
Okay. I would say...
Or you just hate white dresses, because I could get it.
Oh my God,
I can understand that if you hate a white dress, it's like...
At all. Like, I would love the white dress part. I would love the party part.
Of course, you will love the party part.
Of course. I'll be like, let's make a thing of it. Yeah. All this kind of thing. It's nothing to do with that. What it is to do with is... I think that it is pretty much near impossible to stand in front of somebody and say, I will love you till the day that we die. I think that's a lie. Yeah. I think you can say, I will have every intention of trying to love you until the day that I die. But I don't think you can say that, because it's just not true. And I think that's one problem that I have with it. I will consider a situation where, so again, like...
You feel there's a part of it. Well, as everything in relationships, because when you're falling in love with somebody or you're in love with somebody, you always will think, of course, we're going to spend the rest of our lives together. But we're being realistic. That may not happen. That may last a month. That may last a year, 2 years, or 5 years. Yeah. So your problem with for you, it's a bit like the fundaments would be the word, the foundation of marriage, like.
The fundamental
principle of marriage. Like, I'm telling you, I'm going to do whatever with you. I'm going to be loyal with you. I'm going to love you forever, which in reality, it's not something that it may happen for just that. Like that statement of saying something in front of this whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's that. And I think I have another side of it that kind of really irks me. It's that, I was in a relationship for 7 years. It was a committed relationship. I shared like a bank account, family, a house, everything. But that relationship is taken less seriously than if you're married. And I think that's really unfair. And I think that also we could talk about this for hours and talk about it from so many different angles. But I kind of wish that people who lived, it's not the commitment issue that I have a problem with.
It's not about commitment.
It's not about commitment at all. Like, I want children. I want to be in a long-term relationship. Do I think that relationship will last till I die? I don't know. Maybe. I hope so.
Yeah.
But you just can't promise that.
Yeah.
And, all the kind of like rules and vows, I think I have a big problem with, because, you say like, you're not going to cheat on them. Like, trust me, that is not the case. Like, we all know how many people have affairs within marriages. And I think it puts like a lot of extra pressure on people that I don't like. And so I think it's a kind of two-sided thing. I don't like, and also just to say, like the foundation of marriage was for a woman to be an object, a kind of like prize to be given to a man. It was like a thing to be passed on from the dad to the husband.
It's like, my property now is your property.
Exactly. And that is fundamentally sexist. So
I totally agree with that. I hate that part of it. I think it's a disaster. My views on marriage. I think marriage, it can be really pretty. I mean, I understand why people love marriage. I understand because it's the fantasy. It's you're living, I think it's a moment of fantasy when you celebrate love. And it's the
wedding.
The wedding. Yeah, the wedding. Yeah, I'm talking about the event. The event itself. Because the marriage itself, I think it's complicated as fuck. Because... But also you can live with your partner or whatever for a long time, and that's the same as a marriage, to be honest. It doesn't make any difference unless you're talking to me about like legal benefits, or like because we have to buy a house together, we need to pay insurance. If you're married, it's easier or cheaper. That's another story. But in this way, I don't feel you need to commit with somebody like through a wedding. Like that's not the only way you could do it, It feels sometimes that if you want to commit with somebody forever, or like with all your heart or mind or whatever, it has to be through this act. Yeah. So I find that problematic. But when you were talking about like the woman and a man, I was thinking about gay marriage, which is very interesting. And I find like in a way, because I think sometimes in the gay world, some people are a bit against weddings because they feel it's a bit like, some people think like you are playing the part of the straight idea of what love is, but other people, they do it because I think it's the way to claim it as well.
I think it's important for gay guys and lesbians because it's something that they weren't allowed to do before, and now they are allowed to do, and that so important. Is important.
It's a way of I can do it as well.
Yeah, and I understand that more. I think because I think I do have less, and that's a prejudice in me because I have a lot less of an issue with gay weddings than I do with heterosexual weddings. I see that in myself.
But it makes sense. It makes total sense. But then it makes total sense because it's less sexist in a way. Nobody's, you know what I mean? What we were just talking about, like,
but it's
the
also
owning part,
like, say you're in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
No one's going to ask you, why are you going to marry him? You've been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get married? I believe it will be fine. Like Enzo and blah, 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 they're just together.
Probably.
You know, they have the dog.
Because they have the dog. Because culture, again.
But and, you know, me, it's like when and that really, like, I find it very disrespectful. And again, it goes back to that, our episode on talking about motherhood.
Yeah.
Again, it's sort of like it's almost like you're less than. I feel that there comes with a tinge of, you're less than something, your relationship is less meaningful, you don't understand what it's like to be married. It's like, actually, no, that's unfair, because all marriages, legal, yes, but aside from that, if you want to take the romance into it, all it is a set of promises that a lot of people brutally break.
Yeah.
So why do that, and why say that's more meaningful than a very committed, healthy relationship that's been going on for the same amount of time? I think it's really unfair, and I think we need to go into this state where any kind of life choice is okay. So you want to be polyamorous, you want to be just a cohabiting couple who, you know, have children, don't have children. You want to be married, that's okay. Or you want to be married and you don't have children, okay too. Or you want to adopt, or do you know what I mean? Or you're a gay couple and you want to get married. It's just like, I think there's still that thing, and I feel it a lot of like, or also kind of like in my family, like, oh, you know, you'll want to get married when the girls get married. You know, my girlfriends get married.
Yeah. Like,
it's
why?
So, but like, I'm 30 and I've never ever wanted to be married, and I have been in love, but never have I wanted to get married.
I feel it's so fucked up because we always go to the feminist part of everything, and it's always like women, when they don't get married, it's a bit of a failure. It's like, oh, nobody loved you, or you are not good enough for a wife, and always go, you're not good enough as a woman, you're not good enough for a mother, so nobody's respecting you for that. And I think that's the point where I really understand your point about, like, I don't like marriage, because I think the whole concept of it, when you go to that, is all the pressure to women. And then it's something created. I feel like sometimes it's something created around women. And it's to, you know, maybe some people will think it's not empower the women, but I think some people think, like, even the ceremony, like, the women make the choice. It's her event. It's her night. It's everything around them, but at the same time, it's trapping them.
I completely agree with you.
And it's so complicated because it's something that we create to. It's, I don't know. It's, I know what you're trying to say. You know, it's so weird because it's women's night. It's women's day. It's all about them. It's their choices. Normally, like, let's say some men, they like to be included as well, but the general idea of like a straight wedding is like it's the women's night. But at the same time, it's so weird because it's a celebration of kind of like, you made it kind of thing, you know? Right. Oh, you're being appreciated. Oh, you got the man. Oh, you will be a mother now. Oh, you want to have the house. I think it's so fucked up. It's like it's a celebration of something that it's really negative at the end.
You cause yourself problems by getting married as well, because I think that I would imagine that you think that you can never lose that person. And that's why often people cheat on their partners, because they think they're never going to leave. And I think, I don't know if this is true. If it's wrong, I'm going to correct myself when I look at the statistics later. But I believe that more people will cheat in a marriage than in a long-term committed relationship. I will believe.
Because the psychological part of it, that it's like they're tricking your brain. You know how the brain works. It's like, you're tricking to something. What if you're having like a rough moment in your marriage, because that happens, because we're humans, and then what your brain does is like kind of let me find escape, so you cheat. And also, it's not always, like, it's not a rule, but it happens a lot.
Completely. So sorry if that was a bit heavy and negative.
I like this. No, it's not negative. I think it's a really, I think it's
I will not be inviting this one to my wedding. keep her away.
No. I think it's a good topic. And we need to keep talking about it. I think it's important. I think
Definitely
it's one of those things that people are really like delicate about it. So I think
so too. We're not afraid to go there on it. This is the point of our podcast, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think we both want to challenge our own ideas and
true.
definitely have you, tell us your thoughts as well. So now we have 60 seconds. Enzo is going to tell us his thoughts on the topic of marriage, and go.
Well, I believe like I understand why people want to get married, and I understand why people want to feel like, as you said before, like I think the whole ceremony, the whole like we're gonna live together forever, it gives you like a sense of security. That's the thing. And as you know, as humans, we are at the end of the day we are very insecure about everything, you know, and like everything can finish or end up at any moment. But having this whole situation around it makes you feel safe, and it makes you feel more in a commitment. But I think that's wrong, because I think a commitment shouldn't come from a place of something external or something like let's do all of this to feel more commitment. It should be like coming from us deep inside, and you can be as committed to anybody, not having any ceremony, any papers or whatever. You can even live in different houses, and you can be committed to a person 100%. So I think it's like many sides of it. But marriage, if you're into it, go for it. But
done.
Yes.
That was such a good recap, love.
It's difficult. I'm not against marriage, I have to say, but I think you need to know why you're doing this. Like, what are your reasons? But deep inside you, less than because something society people kind of thing.
Yes, I agree. Wouldn't it be a turnaround if we're in 2 years and I'm
gonna be like in a vlog. Hello guys, look at my diamond. I got the most expensive diamond from my friends. I'm doing all this diet for like a year because I'm gonna be like, oh my god, Claire, why? But we change, that's the truth. But I don't think you will be like that. But I guess if you have a good reason, or like a person that really, because sometimes, okay, we can go this super long forever, but I guess if we are with somebody and that person's dream is, my dream is to have a ceremony that we celebrate our love. And that's really my dream. I think if you love that person enough, and do you think you may say like, okay, let's do it, because it's about
it under one
commitment.
Condition.
Yeah,
my condition will be that we review the vows every year. We have a check-in every year. I know it sounds really extra.
So demon, but I love it.
No, I don't. I mean to be like, are we still doing this, or
that's
because
such a good point.
I think that's really important. I know it sounds really silly, but that's the only way. If like the love of my life is like, I just need to get married, or I need to have something because I just need it, and he gives me really good reasons, I will say yes. If you understand that I'm not only committing to you because of this bloody ring and the paper,
it's more than that.
And we review it every year, then I'll consider it.
And see where we are, where we're going.
And I want a puppy, and I want another puppy, and then I'll consider it.
It's a really good point. This is a really, really good topic. Thank you for bringing up this topic,
welcome,
love. I really like it. I hope, guys, you find it interesting.
Yeah.
I think is, again, one of these things that we need to talk.
Oh, we do.
So guys, hope you like this episode. Please remember to subscribe to our little channel. We are now on 100 followers, so we need subscribers, so we need more. So keep subscribing if you like our content.
Definitely. And do like, Instagram, share, leave us a comment, please. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye guys.
Bye guys. Take care.